Hello, this is the resourceful human Rick Marr, and welcome to the 14th of September 2021. And thank you for joining us here on the channel. So there are a lot of things breaking today around COVID and returning to work and how it will affect many businesses across the country. So let's jump into it. But before we do, on this channel, our intention is to bring you entrepreneurial information about the things that we've learned running a national human resources business, and that could include things like services and products, as well as things that we learned about running the business, like operations and finances and sales, marketing, sales automation, and all those sorts of things. So today, what we're going to talk about is how COVID is affecting or what's going on from a compliance standpoint from the business perspective, and then how it's affecting the employees, right? And then the overall things that are happening. So the announcement that was made the other day by the president is it's leaving a lot of questions of how businesses should react, right? So in this instance, in this article, there's a Fox Business article. The Consumer Brands Association has been asking the president for clarification on various things and has sent them 50 questions that are concerning them. And these companies include, large household names like Coca-Cola and General Mills and PepsiCo, et cetera. And there's not a clear guidance on how businesses should act and what they should do. So these are at bigger business levels, but as it trickles down, part of the problem is that businesses are being instructed to adapt or else, right? So there is this $14,000 fine that could potentially be levied on businesses. And if they are caught breaking or having people in their premises that are not vaccinated. Now, it doesn't address what if someone has a fake vaccination card. What's happening now is there's not clarification that these businesses could be on the hook for these $14,000 fines. Right? So you have at the very large level, big businesses are questioning what needs to be done. At the smaller level, small businesses are questioning what needs to be done and the punishments that they may face. And because of lack of clear guidance, they're not exactly sure what to do, but they know they're on the hook, right? And then from the employee standpoint, I thought this was very interesting, that it's almost as if companies are separating along lines, almost like the Hatfields and McCoys. And it's, the vaccinated and the unvaccinated, right? So this tension that's being created within offices and within companies. And how are people supposed to work together if they're not going to get along for various reasons, right? So not arguing which way it should be in this point, but what it is saying is if you're running a business and you have multiple people in it, you may have some people who believe that vaccinations are a must, and you have others that say, maybe I'm not doing it for other reasons, right? So I think if you look at what's going on right now, it's important to understand that this announcement from the other day from the president is really affecting almost every business. And because guidance is not completely clear, right, it's creating tension in smaller businesses because they may be on the hook for these $14,000 fines. And additionally, employees are now kind of lining up against each other along the lines of vaxxed and unvaxxed, so the Hatfields and McCoys. So it's important that you as a business have a COVID return to work plan, that your HR department has a clearly written out plan that everyone understands what the protocols are, and that those protocols may be changing from time to time. So it's absolutely critical that scenarios be thought through in businesses from a human capital perspective, and that those plans are kind of written and made public so that people understand what will happen if this happens, what will happen if that happens. The plan, who knows what goes on tomorrow? There may be some variant or thing that we're not understanding at this point, and that plan may be completely moot, or the government may come out with some new regulations, so that plan needs to be updated. But just think about this. The process of making a plan is so critical because it allows you to think of contingencies. And if those things do happen or something happens, you may have thought through those scenarios and have a plan to already react to them versus every day just waking up and kind of flying blind, right? So I think it's important that everyone understands that the guidance on the announcement from the president of last week is not as clear as it could be. Therefore, larger businesses like Coca-Cola and PepsiCo and General Mills are asking for clarification. But in the smaller businesses, there's real fines that could ruin a business that are on the line, that they're on the hook for, and they need to prepare for that. And then more importantly, the employees may be starting to line up against each other, right? And how do you run a business if the two sets of employees are kind of looking at each other sideways every time they walk by each other? So really important stuff. So if you like this content, please hit the like button. If you really like it, please subscribe. We put out content almost every day. And if you really, really like it, hit that little alarm bell, and that'll alert you every time we put out new content. So appreciate you being here. Appreciate you staying to the end. Stay human and stay resourceful.